Okay, welcome back to another episode of CarnivorousGrama Cooks. Tonight we're going to be making bread. So I'm having a little craving for some carnivore bread. So I'm going to be making Indigo Neely's version of Next Level Butter Bread. And so I thought I would come in here and show you guys how I'm doing it. All right, let's get started. So one of the main ingredients of this Next Level Butter Bread is going to be butter. And so it calls for a stick of frozen grated butter. And this is actually 2 sticks, so I'm going to grate up half of this. So that is 1 full stick of butter. And I'm gonna pop this whole plate in the freezer. All right, you guys, as I was getting ready to prepare to put this video out, I realized that I did not have show you guys the ingredients for the bread. So this is called Next Level Butter Bread, and the ingredients that we have is water, unflavored gelatin, so I'm using this beef gelatin powder. Also egg white powder, so you wanna make sure that you get an egg white protein powder. And the brand that I'm using is called NutriCost. The one that I used to use now adds some kind of fat, and fat will not allow this to whip up. So you want to make sure that you get just a pure egg white powder. The only ingredients should be egg, okay? And then it calls for cream of tartar, but I didn't have any. I would highly recommend that you get the cream of tartar because it took a long time to whip up. And I think that that length of time of whipping causes a little bit of difference in the texture. So I'm going to be trying this again. I will record it again and let you guys know how the texture is when I'm able to get that cream of tartar incorporated. I also included some Redmond real salt, just the regular Redmond's real salt. I did use allulose sweetener. You can leave this out if you like. It calls for 1/4 cup. You can reduce this. So allulose allows your bread to brown. So you'll see a little bit later in the video how that bread is a nice golden brown color. The allulose is what allows it to do that. So this is really nice. And then it does call for arrowroot powder. I choose not to add the arrowroot powder. What I did add was a little bit of fast-acting yeast. So I used about 1/2 packet, and I just sprinkled this in the bowl with all of the, all of the dry ingredients as I was preparing that whipped up. The last thing is that 1 stick of butter, salted butter, frozen grated. So you freeze your stick of butter, grate it up, stick it back in the freezer to wait until you're ready to put it into the dish. It calls for whole egg powder or egg yolk powder. I did not have that, so I ended up using some buttermilk powder that I have. But if you have, I'm thinking about trying it with just using a single whole egg yolk that's been beaten up and frothed up really good, and then just incorporating that in at the end. Once you start to incorporate the fat, the yolk, your bread will start to, come down, like that frothy, stiff peaks will start to come down. So you wanna work with it pretty fast. We're gonna go on with the video. Not sure which way it is.
We added all of the ingredients to the bowl except for the egg yolk and butter. We're gonna go ahead and whip this up to stiff peaks. It did take quite a bit longer to froth this up to stiff peaks because I didn't have cream of tartar, but if you have it, it'll be really fast. Once you froth your egg whites up to stiff peaks, you're gonna go ahead and add in that frozen stick of butter. Right here is where you're gonna add in, if you have it, your egg yolk powder. I didn't have it, so I used buttermilk powder. Here we're just pulling the bowl off of the Kitchenaid, and then we bang off as much of that egg whites as we can get off of the blender attachment. Once you have your bowl out, you want to go ahead and scrape around the bottom just to make sure that you get all of everything incorporated really well. You're moving pretty fast here to make sure that you let the eggs drop as little as possible. And then put this into your prepared pan. As you can see, I'm using a parchment paper coated pan. And then you're gonna push this down a little bit to try to get out as much air bubbles as you can. Finally, add a little line in the middle to make that center cut.
Here is the bread loaf. This is how it looks. I'm gonna just pull it out of the pan. I just took it out of the oven. It cooked I cooked it on convection for on 300 degrees for 45 minutes. And it's supposed to sit on a wire rack, but I do not have a wire rack. So I'm just gonna open it up and gonna let it sit here and cool on the countertop. That's how it looks. It's still, ooh, it's so juicy because it's got so much butter. But I'm gonna let it cool all the way off and then we're gonna give it a taste. Okay, here's the bread. Show you what it looks like. I am going to cut this because I want to give it a taste. Let's cut it. Okay. This is the bread that I made yesterday. And I'm gonna make like an egg sandwich today. It's gonna be griddled. And so I'll take 2 slices of this. And I'm going to butter them on one side. And then I'm gonna put my scrambled eggs in between. So let me go ahead and get this butter. Putting this on the griddle and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, let's give it a taste and see how this bread is doing. Yeah, it's good. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely delicious. And I think you should try it and then come back and tell me how you like it.